All right. Welcome to episode 109 of the Balance Period podcast, the show where we not only share our stories of growth, we also share the simple, sustainable self-care habits that we practice to help us make it from where we were to where we are today. I am one of your hosts, Recovery Ray.
And the bald sage. I just felt like
that,
it did.
Is that how you're going to do that from here on out?
Right. I'm going to test it out for the next few weeks just to see, what feels good. But felt that one a little bit.
Awesome. Well, we are excited to have a new guest on the show with us today. It is our cousin, Nicole Achille. And I am very excited to have her share her story with you all. It is one of courage. It is one of resilience. And it's amazing the growth that I have seen in her life, especially over this last year. So I'm excited to have her on to share her story and her journey with you all. Nicole, how are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm feeling really good. I'm honored and excited to be here.
Awesome.
And just be in your light and energy, so it feels good.
Yeah, well, we're grateful to have you here with us too. So let's go ahead. Let's get started with you offering up a brief introduction to who you are and how you spend most of your time.
Sure. Okay. Well, as my cousin said, I am Nicole, oldest of I can't talk. Words are hard. Oldest of three. I have two younger brothers. Live in the burbs outside of Chicago. Work full-time in the city for a nonprofit. Also on my own business. Do some babysitting. And do event decor. So I'm all over the place, but staying busy.
Yeah, sounds like you got a lot going on.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's go ahead. Let's take it back to this time last year. So let's see. We're coming up on the end of April. So we already have been like a month pretty much into the pandemic.
Yeah.
So what was going on around this time last year for you?
Well, I was applying for jobs like crazy because on the 15th of March, they closed down the gym. And on the 31st, we all found out that we were furloughed. So I definitely felt myself getting stressed out, and there was a lot of tension in my body. I'm like, I just need to breathe. What's meant to be will be. So I was just applying for jobs, still wanted to focus on working with children, just in a greater, on a larger scale. And balloons seemed to take off. I had started my business in October of 2019, but with COVID, it was beautiful to see people. We can't celebrate like we normally would, but still trying to get creative and celebrate life in the best ways they possibly could. Mm-hmm. So that's when my business started to take off, and it was very therapeutic for me as well to bring that joy. Even just for my neighbors, I'd chalk the sidewalk, and put out balloons, and some of the kids would come by and take photos. I'm like, this is what I want to do. So that was most of my time last year.
That's awesome. So in the midst of so much uncertainty, in the midst, like you were saying, you were looking for jobs. I went through a similar process around this time last year too, being that the job that I was working for, we couldn't have our doors open because of the pandemic. So the fact that you were able to shift your energy to being, more productive in your own business, you were able to focus more of that into what you had started pretty much a little over a year prior. So that's awesome. So let's go ahead and talk about some of those emotions that you were experiencing. One of the things that we like to highlight on the show is emotional intelligence. So our ability to be aware of, control, and express our emotions in a mindful way. So can you talk a little bit more about how you were responding to the stress that you were experiencing this time last year?
Definitely. Like I was saying, when I got the furlough email, within minutes, I could feel my neck. I felt so much tension and tightness in my neck shooting down my back. And I was like, all right, I'm holding all of this in. I need to be able to talk to my family about this. I need to cry and breathe and let it out, because if I hold it in, this is going to make me sick. So it took me about a week to finally just like, okay, I can't control the situation. I have to let it be for now. And then what's supposed to happen will happen, like I said. But yeah, I definitely allowed myself to have a really good cry.
That's solid. Yeah, it definitely helps just to release that emotion.
Especially those cries in the shower hit different. I don't know why, but they really do.
Well, I'll say in the shower is most likely your brain can get the theta state from the water. That's just one of the things that I've read about, and so I know, like for me, I meditate in the shower a lot, and so it's really easy for me to have thoughts and just have that real deep time of seclusion. So I can definitely understand like being vulnerable and releasing in the shower to be something that really releases a lot of tension.
Well, learn something new every day. Thank you.
Yeah,
it makes total sense.
Right. All right, now one of the things that you mentioned earlier on was the desire that you have to impact children at a large scale. So I know prior, and I know you didn't say this, but you work with kids, your job, like you worked with kids, and you weren't able to continue to work with kids in the same way. But how did you shift to be able to impact kids in the way that you were seeing that you wanted to this time last year?
Well, my mom reminded me, she was like, even if you're not working directly with them, even if you're just doing some balloon decorations, you're still impacting them and bringing them that same type of joy. So I was like, well, that's a really good way to think about it. And when I would do a drop off and I'd hear them squeal, I'm like, this is why I do it. It feels so good. I get so emotional. So,
yeah. Well, can you talk a little bit about when that started for you? Have you always had an affinity to want to work and help kids, or is that something that's kind of been more recent?
No, I even remember when Pierre was born, my dad had to drag me out of the hospital. I was kicking and screaming because I just wanted to take my baby home and nurture and love him. And then when Jacques was born, I was 6, so I understood a little bit better. But I still remember them coming into the driveway and me holding him for the first time. So I was like, I guess I was just born to want to nurture and love all the kiddos that I possibly could. Babysat kids in the neighborhood. I volunteered at the YMCA with my mom doing swim lessons, so it's always just been something I enjoyed, and I was like, well, why don't I do this and make money doing this? Best of both worlds, so.
For sure. Yeah.
So I have a question. It's why balloons? What was it about that made the balloons the choice?
So my mom, as you guys know, was into balloon decor, event planning, event design. And when I worked at Fitness Formula Club running the children's department, I was responsible for helping with birthday parties, our monthly Parents Night Out events, and like weekly events we did. So I was like, let me start just trying to do some balloons or something. I was on Pinterest, and Pinterest is dangerous, but in a good way. So I started getting inspiration from that and YouTube, and then my mom would help me. I'm like, well, I want to try to do balloon decor and some hand lettering for the kiddos. So, and then one of my friends who brought her kiddo to the gym was like, I would pay you to do this for a birthday party, and then that's when it took off from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's
you.
amazing. So let's talk a little bit about some of the habits that you were practicing last year. So what were some of the things that you did to help make sure that your cup was full? I know we weren't able to do a lot of things. I know, like personally, I remember going to a lot of group exercise classes and different ways that I know would like help me fill my cup.
Definitely.
But things had to change. So what were some of the habits that you practiced last year to fill your cup?
Jacques got me heavy into meditating and made playlists on Spotify of positive affirmations. So every morning I make sure I start with my Bible devotional. When I go into my morning affirmations, day 1 through 5, and just repeat them whatever day of the week it is. And then I don't know if you guys know the band Surfaces. They have that song Sunday Best.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That was my most played song of the year last year. So it was Bible devotional, morning affirms, then that song. So it just got me, it lifted my spirits every day. So those were my main focuses. And then I became a plant mama, which is also very fun. I think everyone got plants last year, let's be serious. But I see why. Yes. Nice. What plants did you get?
I have a ficus, and then I honestly don't know what the other one's name is. I think I got it from IKEA. Nope, I got it from Trader Joe's. But I've had that one for a couple years now, and we've been rolling hard together here for a while, so we're doing well.
Nick, we got to get you in the plant game next.
Oh, I do. I have a snake plant. I do have a ficus as well, and then Holly has like 3 other ones. I don't know what they're called. I also have a small bonsai that I'm in the midst of regrowing. So I have my little funs with them.
Yes.
Dope. All right. Now, I actually have a relatively unique question. It's one that I've asked myself in the past just to expand my awareness of how I see the relationship I have with myself. So just out of curiosity, what are 3 words that you would use to describe the relationship that you have with yourself?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Over the last few years, I've definitely taken on the word forgiving. So I used to hold in a lot of guilt over things I do in the past, and I was like, I have to let that go in order to learn from it and move forward so I don't make those same mistakes. So forgiveness, joy, definitely joy. And enlightenment / love? That's a really hard question. I'm trying to think. There's so many things. I'm like, how do I hone in on 3 words?
No, that's awesome. So forgiveness, that's something that I've been diving deep into recently, just because I recognize that I didn't extend forgiveness to myself. I didn't forgive myself for whether it be practicing habits that I felt like no longer served me, or the thoughts that would consistently go through my mind that I would give energy to. Being able to forgive myself allowed me to just accept myself for who I am in the moment and release those things that I was holding on to. So forgiveness is huge. Yeah. Man, so thank you for being transparent and open and sharing with us there.
Thanks for asking that question.
Of course. It just came to mind the other day because I was like, I asked myself this a while ago, but it might be something that I can start asking guests that we have on the show. I don't see why not.
I like it.
Now, as you were talking about learning more about yourself over the last few years, can you offer up the most valuable thing that you've learned over these last few years based on an experience that you've had?
Yes. So I'm very tied to my faith and spirituality with God, and I feel what I went through with my health brought me back to Him in a deeper way that I never would have, that I don't think I could have ever experienced. So, did I answer the question properly? I think I did.
You did. Now, can you go a little deeper into what? So the relationship that you have with your faith and with God, can you just describe a little bit about what that looked like prior, and then what it looked like after that event that you experienced? Yeah.
So prior, like I would say my nightly prayers or talk to Him here and there throughout the day, but it was never, like I was never trying to understand the Word or some of the scriptures and the deeper meaning, because I feel like a lot of it, like all of it can relate to us in different ways, but I never took the time to understand it. I just knew He was there. I knew He loved me. He loves all of us and created all of us in His heart. So I was grateful for Him, but I never really talked to Him like I should have, or felt I should have. And I understand, like, He's always there for me. He waits and He's patient, and it was just when it was the time, He brought me back to Him.
Yeah. I mean, I experienced something similar. I know I had health issues a few years back, and that prompted me to redefine the relationship that I had with God too. Because each one of us get an opportunity to have our own relationship with whatever you choose to acknowledge as the higher power of us being here. So that is definitely one way that, hey, I wasn't aware of it until I was like, it was in a snap. It was like I was prompted and forced pretty much to say, hey, you're gonna address this, because there were things that were completely out of my control that I couldn't do anything about. But I recognized I did have control over the relationship that I had with myself and with God. So yeah, that it definitely can prompt you to be more mindful in that realm. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nick, are there any more questions that you have?
No, I don't have any other questions. I just appreciate, as we said earlier, her vulnerability and sharing her story with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I want you to talk a little bit more about Nicoles Magic. So there's been pretty significant amount of growth in that business, especially over this last year. So can you talk a little bit more about what you all do and some of the things that you're looking to continue to grow into with Nicoles Magic?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so our main focus is balloon decor. Doesn't matter the size, and we just we make custom designs for our customers and really cool installations. There's another balloon designer in the city called Luft Balloons, L-U-F-T. I've been following her work for 2 years. And around this time, actually last year, she was looking to hire a new employee, but I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm ready for this. I was just too nervous. And again, that fear ego was in my way, so I didn't apply for the job. But as my business continued to flourish last year, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go in and introduce myself. And then that led to a friendship, which has been amazing. And so the balloons, and then I started to do the chalk art because during my recovery at home from my second surgery, I was like, I wanted to learn calligraphy for a long time. I'm at home with nothing else to do, so why don't I try my hand at it? No pun intended. So I was on Skillshare, YouTube, and just had Crayola markers and was trying to learn how to hand letter. And it was also, in a way I didn't really think about it. That's also being mindful because it really takes time and patience to do it. So that's another outlet for me. So working with Luft, I was able to hand letter on balloons. So from my balloon crush, I've been able to work alongside of her and see all the joy she brings. And it's also brought me joy. So I've gone into hand lettering and chalk arts. And one of my closest friends, Kara, owns her own floral design company. I've been working alongside of her and learning some floral. So it's been really cool just branching out in different pieces of art. And then one of my girlfriends named India is a boss babe that owns a loft in Evanston. It's this beautiful venue, co-working space, and I'm now on her team. So I'll be doing some event designing here, and I do some balloon decor. So it's grown more than I could have possibly imagined. But my mom was right, because she told me years ago, you should be going into event planning. So here we are.
Very dope.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It sounds like you've been able to leverage what you do by also collaborating with other business owners that are in a similar space, but you're able to add your expertise and genius to what they're already working on. So
Yeah.
that sounds amazing. I'm excited to continue to watch you grow.
Thank you.
And to continue to see all of the joy that you're able to spread with the work that you do. Because it's definitely something that I feel like is valuable, because life is meant to be enjoyed, and oftentimes
Yes.
we don't take time just to pause and pay closer attention to the present moment and appreciate what we have. But man, if there's a huge array of balloons in front of me, it's kind of hard to not appreciate the time and energy that went into making what I'm looking at. So
It
thank
truly
you.
is magical. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
But like you were
So,
saying,
yeah.
oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
When you were talking about just pausing and being in the moment, that's another thing, going back to my surgery, that it also taught me. Not only my faith, but just, I was always rush, go, burnout. And it literally knocked me on my butt to the point I had to go to the ER. And I was like, all right, this is a sign to just take better care of myself. I can't save everyone. I can't empower everybody. I need to work from within in order to bring the joy and love that I want to give.
Yeah, I think that's a powerful point to finish off with, just to focus in on making sure that you're okay, making sure that your cup is full, prioritizing time for your self-care so that you can be the best you for everyone else and to truly fulfill the purpose that you have here on this earth. So
Health is wealth, everybody.
facts. All right, well, I'm going to now give you the space to plug anything that you're working on. I know we've been talking about Nicoles Magic, but you can share with everyone where they can find your content, your information, so that they can potentially work with you. Yeah.
Would love that. So my Instagram is Nicoles, no H, Nicoles _magic. Facebook, it's Nicole ', so Nicoles Magic. And then my email is Nicoles Magic, all one word, @gmail.com. Also Pinterest. I'm on Pinterest now.
Yes.
Also, same thing, Nicoles Magic.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, yeah.
Oh, one more thing,
Oh,
sorry.
You're good.
I also work for a nonprofit. Like I was saying, I'm an AmeriCorps member, and I work for Chicago Hopes for Kids. So if you're on Instagram, you can look Shy Hopes for Kids. And it's an amazing organization. We work directly with children experiencing homelessness. We do school support, after-school program, virtual tutoring, and again, working with kids. I knew it was a sign when I got laid off, looking into something else. I loved volunteering with people experiencing homelessness. I love children, and this was just the perfect fit for me. And it's been life-giving, life-changing in one of the best ways possible. So I'm always plugging them. If anyone wants to volunteer or get involved in any way, I'm happy to help.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you for that.
Of course.
Well, yeah, we appreciate you being on here. Thank you for sharing your story so authentically and honestly. Nick, is there anything that you would like to leave everyone with today?
Oh, sure. Just make sure that you love yourself just as much as you judge yourself, and in most cases, love yourself just a little bit more, and keep enjoying your amazing journey.
Love that.
I like that. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We appreciate your time and attention. We're excited to continue to bring you these stories, and we look forward to having you tune in next week for another episode of the Balance Period Podcast. Peace.
Later.
Bye.